I'd just finished work, sitting at my laptop like always. I do 3 days remote now, more time for Mark and my girl. Not a bad setup. I had maybe 90 minutes before my daughter got home, 2 hours before Mark walked in, and I knew exactly what I was about to do. It was go time. Still couldn't believe I agreed to this. I rushed to the shower, careful not to mess up my hair. My heart was racing. How the hell did I let Hunter talk me into this? A one-on-one cam show. What the hell was I thinking? We stayed in touch after he quit our office 6 months ago, started with Facebook, then WhatsApp. The flirting we used to joke about got serious. We crossed a line without saying it. We never talked about our partners. I didn't ask about his wife. He never asked about Mark. That made it hotter. He asked for explicit photos. I never sent any. This is my work phone. But he sent plenty. Full body, hard, dirty pics. But it wasn't the pics that got me. It was the way he talked. His voice. His words. I got out of the shower, threw on a little makeup, wrapped myself in my white robe. I felt wired, nervous, and turned on as I walked back to my office. I fixed the webcam, wiped my browser history, set up a private room. Then I hit video call. "Hey, Angel," he grinned. "You look good as always," I smiled. My cheeks were already flushed. "Can't believe we're really doing this." "I'm freaking out," I said. "Look, my hands are shaking." "That's hot," he said, voice low. "But damn, it's not fair. I'm half undressed and you're all covered. Open the robe, babe. Let me see." I bit my lip, tilted my head back, and slowly ran my hand down the robe. I pulled it open, just enough to show my right melon. He groaned. I smiled and opened my eyes. His face was glued to the screen, breathing heavy. I saw his hand move. He was getting into it. Then he leaned back so I could see more of him. "Stand up, Stephanie," he said. "Let me see that A." I hesitated for a sec, then pushed my chair back, stood, and turned. I swayed my hips, lifted the robe to show my bare bum. Yeah, now bend over, spread it." "Nope," I teased, dropping the robe and sitting back down. I left it open in front, legs pressed together. "You're eliminating me," he grinned. "Such a tease. Come on, show me how you play with yourself. I want to see you lose control." I ran my fingers slowly over my thighs. "God damn," he moaned. "You're so hot." Then, everything exploded. My chair jerked back like it got sucker punched. I grabbed the arms, heart slamming, confused for half a second. Then came the voice. "Well, look who's got her legs spread for a freaking loser!" I froze. Blood iced in my veins. Mark. He was behind me, one hand gripping the chair like he wanted to snap it in half, the other holding my laptop like it was diseased. He stepped around, right into the camera's view, face twisted in fury. "You like this, huh? You get off being some cam hooker for Captain Pecker pick?" "Mark?" I croaked, panic setting in. He leaned into the webcam. "Enjoy it while it lasts, you limp pecker piece of crap." Then he raised the laptop and hurled it across the room. It exploded against the wall. Plastic, metal, glass everywhere. My chair went over with it. I hit the floor, robe flying open, legs up, melons out, humiliated, raw, exposed. "You damn pig," he snarled. "In our goddamn house? While our daughter's at school? You couldn't even wait till I was dead." I scrambled up, trying to cover myself. "Please, Mark, I can explain." "Explain what? That you're a thirsty little cheater who gets wet for compliments from strangers? Don't even freaking try." He turned to leave. "Mark, wait, please." He whirled back around. "Lock the damn door next time, genius. Maybe then your sad little adult movie fantasy wouldn't have blown up in your face." I ran to the front door. He was backing out of the driveway. Tail lights fading down the block. Crap. Oh God, why didn't I lock the door? I ran to the kitchen, grabbed my phone, called him. No answer. Texted. Nothing. My heart was hammering. I looked at the clock. My daughter would be home any second. I had to pull it together. I wiped my face, threw on sweatpants and a baggy tee. Just as I came out of the bathroom, "Mom, I'm home!" Tiffany's voice. I met her in the hall. She stopped and stared at me. "Mom, are you okay? Your eyes are red." "I'm fine, sweetie. Just tired, not feeling great. You want to lie down? I'll make tea." "That'd be lovely. Thanks, baby." I curled up on the couch, wrapped in a throw blanket. My chest still felt like it might explode. What the hell did I just do? What if she ever finds out? "Here's your tea," Tiffany said. "You look beat. Want me to text Dad and ask for pizza?" Before I could answer, she was already typing. "Dad says he'll bring pizza," she said. I blinked. He answered her, but not me. Did he block me? At least he was coming home. But then what? He wouldn't say a word in front of Tiffany. I knew that, but after? I had no clue what was next. I got up and walked back into the office. The wrecked laptop was still on the floor. I picked up the biggest chunk, tossed it in the garage trash, came back with a broom and dustpan, swept up the rest, then set my chair back up. There was a hole in the drywall where it had hit. If Tiffany saw it, she'd ask questions. I slid the filing cabinet over just enough to hide it. Then I heard the front door open. "Hey, Dad, how was your day? Do I have homework tonight?" Tiffany asked from the kitchen. "A little," Mark said, "but thanks for texting me. You hungry?" "Yeah," she said. "Thanks for the pizza. Mom's not feeling good." "Why don't you take your pizza upstairs?" Mark said. "Get a head start on homework. Later we'll watch something, all right?" "Okay, that sounds great," Tiffany said. I ducked into the bathroom, checked the mirror. Red eyes, pale skin. I looked rough. I headed to the kitchen. Nobody was there. The pizza box was sitting on the counter, still closed. I lifted the lid and stared at it. No appetite. I just stood there listening. From the basement, I heard the low murmur of the TV. I took a deep breath, then stepped quietly down the stairs. Mark was on the couch, TV blaring some late-night crap, his back to me like I wasn't even there. I stepped around slowly, sat down on the edge of the sofa, kept a little space between us. He didn't turn, didn't blink, just stared at the screen like I was a ghost. I wiped at my eyes. My voice came out broken. "Mark, can we talk?" He didn't say anything, just grabbed the remote, clicked the TV off, and turned to face me, slow, deliberate. His face was tight, jaw clenched, eyes glossy, but not soft. No softness at all, just rage trying to hold itself together. "Mark, I know you must feel—" "Don't!" He cut in, voice like ice. "Don't you dare start with that 'I know how you feel' nonsense." I flinched. He didn't even raise his voice, but it hit harder than a scream. "You don't know damn about how I feel," he said. His eyes locked on mine like he was looking through me. "You think a couple of tears and a shaky voice is gonna fix this? You think you say a few sorries and I'm just what? Over it?" His hand shot up, rubbed hard at his face, like he was trying to wipe me out of his vision. "I trusted you, damn it," he hissed. "I was a damn idiot. I didn't mean—" "Of course you didn't mean to," he snapped, louder now, bitter. "That's the whole damn problem with you. You never mean to. You just do, and it's always someone else who has to clean up the mess." I froze. Tears ran, but I didn't wipe them. Didn't move. He leaned forward, elbows on knees, hands clasped, staring at the floor now. When he spoke again, his voice dropped low. Cold. "Get out of my face. I'll talk when I feel like talking. Right now, I can't even stand the sound of your voice." I jumped up, trying not to cry too loud, and ran to the bedroom. Crawled into bed, curled up tight, and lost it. A minute later, Tiffany peeked through the door. "Mom, you okay? Should I call Dad?" she asked. "No, baby," I said. "I'm fine, just tired. Go watch a movie with him, all right?" That night was hell. I didn't sleep. Just tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling. Mark never came up. I guess he stayed downstairs. In the morning, I tossed on a robe and walked the house slow, checking if he was still around. But he was gone. Coffee was fresh. Pizza box was in the fridge. I poured a cup, sat at the island, and grabbed my phone. Texted, "Forgive me. I love you. Thanks for the coffee. Have a good day at work." Then a thought hit me. Did he even go to work? I didn't hear the shower. No sign of clean clothes. Who knows? I had to be in the office that day. Took a long, ugly shower. Cried again. After I called down, "Tiff, come eat." While I waited, I checked my phone again. Nothing from Mark. And I knew one thing, Hunter was done. No calls, no texts, no nothing. I wanted him gone, like that laptop. Tiffany came down, already dressed. "You feeling better, Mom?" she asked, sitting at the table with cereal. "A little," I said. "Thanks, sweetheart." "Did you and Dad like the movie?" she asked. She lit up. Yeah, we watched Blade Runner 2049. It was so cool. You should have seen it. Then I went to bed and Dad stayed up watching sports. So he's already gone to work? Yeah, don't worry, I'll walk to school, she said. You sure you don't need a ride? Nah, and I'm taking cold pizza, so don't worry about lunch. She dug into the fridge. Not a real lunch, I said. I'm in a rush, and let's be honest, you're not up for arguing, she said with a wink. She wasn't wrong. Work was nuts, which was good. I needed the noise. But it didn't last. Around noon, my phone rang. I answered. Stephanie Stevens speaking. Hey, Steph, it's me, Hunter, he said. What happened? Are you okay? I couldn't reach you. I don't know your cell and you weren't online. I yanked the phone from my ear like it bit me. Then I put it back, voice low and sharp. Hunter, don't ever call me again. Don't text. Don't reach out, ever. I hung up, ran to the bathroom and cried again, hard. When I calmed down, I made more coffee, checked my phone, still no reply. Texted again. Please, Mark, I love you. Can we talk? Back at my desk, I forced a smile at a coworker walking past and dove into emails. That night, on the way home, I stopped by the store. I hadn't eaten in over a day, but I wanted to cook. I picked up stuff for chicken parm, Mark's favorite. At home, I unpacked groceries and started cooking. Then I went upstairs to freshen up. In the bathroom, I noticed his towel was still damp. His clothes were still on the floor. He either came back after we left, or he never left at all. He was dodging me. Tiffany came home, all smiles. Mom, I got an A on my math test, she shouted. I hugged her tight. I'm so proud of you. I bet Dad will be too. She beamed. Her joy lifted me just for a second. But dinner came. Still no Mark. I texted again. Nothing. Tiff and I sat down to eat. I just pushed food around. Where's Dad? She asked. Not sure. Probably running late, I said. She pulled out her phone and texted him. A moment later, she looked up. Dad says to keep his food warm. He'll be home in 30. She squinted. Mom, are you and Dad fighting? No, sweetie, not really. Just working through something, that's all. Half an hour later, the door opened. Mark walked in holding a bag from the electronics store. Tiff ran over. Dad, what'd you get? A new laptop, he said. To replace your mom's. I blinked. You know, I dropped it. Mark smiled cold. It's a family laptop now. Your mom can work here in the kitchen, on the island. That's where it stays. Everything out in the open. No secrets. We might turn your mom's office into a guest room or something. Each word hit like a knife. Good idea, I said, forcing a little laugh. I'll be closer to the coffee anyway. Tiff shrugged. Fine with me. I've got my tablet, and Dad should have a computer too. She headed off to her room. Mark started setting up the laptop on the island. I brought him his plate from the oven. He ate while typing, then looked up. You eat? He asked. A few bites. Not really hungry. Mark, I said softly. Can we talk? Give me an hour, he said. Then we'll talk. Okay, I'll leave you alone. I'm gonna take a bath. Then I'll come down and make us some tea. He didn't answer, just shrugged. Upstairs, I ran the bath. Then I popped into Tiffany's room. You need the bathroom before I get in? I asked. She looked up. Is everything all right? Yes, baby, I said, smiling. All good. After the bath, I made 2 mugs of tea. Mark's plate was gone, his stuff in the dishwasher. He was downstairs. The new laptop sat on the counter, glowing softly. I grabbed the tea and walked downstairs. This was it. I sat beside him, set the mugs down. I don't even remember what he was watching. All I know is I stared ahead, lips tight, doing everything I could not to cry. Mark clicked off the TV with a sharp snap and finally turned his head toward me. His eyes were like stone, dead cold, but lit with something boiling underneath. You know what, Stephanie? He said, voice low but slicing. I don't owe you damn. Not a word, not an answer. But I'm gonna do you a favor anyway. I'm gonna tell you what I know. Some of it. The rest, I'm keeping. For when I catch you lying. I didn't move. My hands clenched in my lap like a kid about to get scolded in church. My throat was tight, tears already slipping. He leaned back, arms crossed like a judge waiting to pronounce a sentence. Sunday night. Tiffany was sick, remember? She called you, you ran, I was right behind you. You took her to the bathroom. I changed the sheets, trying to be helpful, quiet, supportive, like always. He paused, watching me squirm. As I walked back downstairs, your office door was wide open. And lucky me, in all the chaos, you forgot to shut down your laptop. I gasped. Oh God, Mark! He raised a hand. Nah, don't even start. His voice turned meaner. Big ol' pecker pick, front and center on your screen. Real classy, Steph. That what gets you going now? Some half-soft loser showing off on WhatsApp? I shook my head, tears dripping down. Please, I can explain. You will explain, he cut in, voice snapping. But not till I'm done. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, that smug, furious calm spreading across his face. You called me upstairs after. I helped you settle Tiffany. Told you she should sleep in our bed. I'd take her room. And you know what I thought then? I thought, I can't even look at this woman in my bed. Not that night. Maybe never again. My whole chest cracked, but he was just warming up. When you asked for a drink, I went back down, straight to the laptop, needed more time, saved it all. Every filthy word, every little emoji you thought was cute. Copied it. Flash drive. Boom. Done. No, please. I couldn't breathe. I could barely sit upright. When you two finally passed out, I kept digging. Your Facebook? Trash. Your work phone? Useless. But the computer? Goldmine. Including that little project you're starting. Videography. How cute. So I came home early. Thought I might walk in on you mid-show. But nah, the curtain had already dropped. I covered my face and wept, but he didn't care. I also found out plenty about your boy. Hunter. He sneered. He's not my boyfriend. Shut it, he barked. Don't speak unless I say. I swallowed my breath. His wife? Sweet lady. 2 kids. Family photos all over Facebook. Real slice of normal. And guess what? I got her email. I send her all this. His life's over. Done. He'll be back in his mom's basement faster than he can zip up. I fell off the couch, onto my knees, hands clasped, choking on my own sobs. Please don't leave me, Mark. Please, just let me talk. Let me explain. He pointed a finger. Lower your damn voice. You want Tiffany to hear this? You want to ruin her night too? I nodded, whispering through my crying. No, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. He folded his arms. Your turn. Talk. But if I catch one lie, just one, I swear, I'll send those messages out before you even finish your sentence. Okay, I stammered. Okay, I'm sorry, Mark, I really am. It started months ago. Hunter worked at our office. He'd flirt a little, but I ignored it. Then he left the state. Said we should stay in touch. We swapped Facebooks. That's it. He rolled his eyes. We messaged. Friendly stuff. Then one day he said we should move to WhatsApp. I didn't even think about it. He said his wife checked his Facebook, and I didn't think. That's when the flirting started. I was stupid. You were stupid, he muttered. I never gave him my number. I never saw him. It was just messages, just talking. Then, it got more graphic. He wanted pictures. I said no. I didn't want that out there. But I didn't stop talking to him. Then came video chats. I was sobbing, wiping my face, trying to hold myself together. I thought it wasn't real, that I could separate it from us. But it was cheating. I know that now. I gave him a piece of me, and I hate myself for it. Mark, I swear I would do anything to take it back. Mark stood up slowly, towering over me, his voice colder now. You gave him what was mine. You let some clown handle himself while you paraded yourself on camera. You spit on everything we built. You want forgiveness? You want mercy? You're on your damn knees and you still don't get it. He stepped back. You made me feel like a goddamn fool. I stood there playing husband and dad while you were out here acting like a bored teenager. You humiliated me. You castrated me. Please, I whispered. Please, Mark. It's done. I'm done. His voice was final. I gasped. No, don't say that. Oh, I'm not walking out. Not yet, he said. But starting now, that laptop stays out here. You work at this table. Phone too. Right there. No passwords, no sneaky crap. Okay, I mumbled. And in the morning, we're heading to your office. You're unlocking that computer for me. We'll see what's still hiding in there before your little boss shows up. There's nothing, I promise. Yeah. Hunter called me. Called me at work like he's some grown A man. Wanted to clear the air. I told him to go screw himself. I blinked in shock. What? What did he say? He hung up after that, probably pissing himself now. I tried to reach for him. Mark, just don't do anything crazy, please. Don't do something that gets you in trouble. Tiffany needs you. He stared at me for a moment, then looked away. We'll talk more tomorrow. I'm sleeping in the damn basement. Right then, we both froze. Tiffany's voice called from upstairs. Mom, Dad, you watching TV down there? I jumped up, wiped my face, and switched off the lamp. She came bouncing down the stairs and flopped on the couch between us like nothing was weird. What are we watching? She asked. None of us answered. We just sat there in silence, staring at the screen. The movie ended. She fell asleep on me. I tried waking her. Nothing. She was either out cold or faking. Mark shut off the TV and walked over. He bent down, hugged her gently, and lifted her into his arms. She was 13 but still tiny, like me. Her ponytail swayed as he carried her upstairs. I followed, watching them. And yeah, it hit me hard. Jealousy, sharp and sudden. I didn't know if he'd ever hold me like that again. Mark tucked her in, and as they came down the hall, I turned into our bedroom. Grabbed a nightgown, went to the bathroom, changed, washed my face. When I stepped out, Mark was there grabbing clothes for tomorrow. He didn't speak. Just walked past me into the bathroom. I couldn't take it. Mark, please don't do this, I said, my voice small. He stopped. Stephanie, you don't get it. Reading those messages, seeing that video, I couldn't believe it. I was staring at my wife's words, her body, and thinking, who the hell is this? You disappeared. I don't even know who I'm living with now. I stepped closer. It's me, Mark. I messed up. Bad, but I'm still here. I'm still your wife. I'm sorry. Please let me fix this. I was crying. Hard. Snot, red face, the whole mess. Mark didn't say another word. He grabbed his stuff and left the room. I fell into bed and cried until I passed out. The alarm dragged me out of a rough sleep. I knocked on Tiffany's door, told her to get ready, then went downstairs to check if Mark was still here. He wasn't. Coffee was already brewed. I poured a cup, made toast, poured cereal and juice, started packing her lunch. Tiffany shuffled in, rubbing her eyes. Morning, Mom. I smiled a little. Morning, baby. After a few bites, she looked up. Is Dad still mad at you? I think so, I said. But we're trying to work it out. She nodded. Don't worry. He's been mad at me before too, but he always forgives me. He loves us. That cracked me wide open. I broke down again. She stood up, hugged me tight, and then she started crying too. I'm just a mess this week, I sniffled. Look at us. Crybaby girls. She laughed a little. So did I. Later, after I dropped her at school, I called in and said I'd work from home. I texted Mark, working from home today, for the first time since it all happened. Just letting you know. Thought you'd want to check the laptop with me. But you left early. I cleaned the kitchen and opened the new laptop. It wasn't locked. That felt strange, like a test. I had nothing to hide now. Logged in, started working. Still wondered, was there a tracker? Was he watching through the cam? Called Katie at work to ask for some notes. Got more done than I thought I would. For a second, it felt normal, almost peaceful. Then the doorbell rang. A man stood outside. Stephanie Stevens? Yes, can I help you? I'm sorry, you've been served. He handed me an envelope, turned and left. I stood there frozen. My hands shook as I opened it. My eyes burned. No, please. This can't be happening. I didn't call my mom. I didn't want her in this mess. But I was breaking. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and called Mark. He picked up. Hello? Mark? It's me. You answered. Oh, God. I got the papers. Please don't do this. Don't leave me. Stephanie, he said, calm but cold. Tiffany's coming home soon. You need to pull it together. Tomorrow's Saturday, no school. Call your mom. See if she'll take Tiffany tonight so we can talk. You'll come home? I asked. I'll come. I called my mom. Mom, can Tiffany stay over tonight? Mark and I need to talk. She heard my voice and panicked. You're crying. What happened? Are you two okay? Please, No questions, I'll explain later. I'll bring her after school. All right, honey, I'm here. When Tiffany got home, I was more put together. I told her, we're going to Grandma's for dinner. You'll stay there tonight. Dad and I need to talk. She stared at me. You sure everything's okay? Yes, sweetie, it's fine. She didn't believe it, not fully, but she didn't fight it. At my parents' place, the smell of pasta hit us at the door, Tiffany's favorite. My dad hugged her and pulled her inside. My mom gave me a look but didn't press. On the drive back, I wondered, had Mark told his mom anything? He talks to her a lot now, more since his dad passed. I didn't have long to think. His car was already in the driveway. I jumped out, forgot to unbuckle my seatbelt, grabbed my bag, and rushed in. Mark! I yelled, tossing my phone and purse onto the counter. He was already sitting at the computer when I walked in, eyes glued to the screen like he was digging through my soul. I opened my mouth, but all that came out was a sob. Again. Sit down, Stephanie, he said, calm but with that cold edge that made my skin crawl. I sat, trembling. He didn't even look up. Log into everything, he said. Facebook, Insta, WhatsApp, all of it, right now, and start disconnecting, every contact, right in front of me. I obeyed without a word. My fingers were shaking so badly I could barely type. He stood up, went to the fridge, and grabbed a bottle of wine, poured 2 half-A glasses like it was a business meeting. Here, he said, sliding one toward me. Now shut up and let me talk. Okay, I mumbled. He nodded like he was confirming a chess move. Calm, way too calm. I took a few days off. Needed to breathe. Process, he started. I even saw a lawyer. Told him I was done. Wanted a divorce. That was where my head was at. I started to open my mouth, but he raised a finger. Nope. You had your turn when you were sexting Captain Jackoff behind my back. I swallowed the lump in my throat, eyes burning. He went on. When I saw the messages, Steph, that crap wrecked me. You don't even know. I was sitting there thinking, what did I do? Was I not enough? Did I stop being a man in your eyes? He took a slow sip of wine, staring at me like I was a stranger. You were showing your body to another man, Steph. That body you swore to protect with me. For better or worse, right? You gave away something sacred, like it was a damn Snapchat filter. I flinched. I was proud to be your husband, he said. I bragged about you. I thought we had something real, and you threw that in the trash for some low-rent online fantasy. I couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. So yeah, I filed the papers, but I haven't sent them yet, he said finally. I'm thinking. That's all. Just thinking. He sat back, voice flat now. No emotion. Thing is, I'm not moving out. Not running away from my house, my daughter. We're gonna do the split right here. Different rooms. No touching. No nothing. He looked at me dead in the eye. And let me make this real clear. You will not make me look like the bad guy. Not with Tiffany, not with your parents, not with anyone. You don't need to explain the dirty details, but I'll be damned if you're gonna paint me as the one who broke this. I wiped my face and nodded. Mark, I'm listening. I hear you, and I'll do anything. I'll block Hunter, delete him, I'll go to therapy. I'll go even if you don't want to, but please don't throw us away, please. He stayed quiet, sipping again. I could feel the judgment dripping off him like sweat. Then I whispered, barely able to say it. Are you gonna start seeing other women? Mark set his glass down with a heavy clink. That's not the damn point right now, he said. I ain't thinking about dating. If that changes, you'll hear it from me first. But don't turn this around like I'm the one running off. I nodded, biting my lip. And yeah, you want to see a therapist? Go ahead. You probably need it more than I do. I'm still figuring out if I even want to fix this. He paused, leaned in slightly. But hear me on this. You made me look like a freaking joke, and I don't play the fool twice, ever. You disrespect me again, even once I'm gone. I broke down again. I know I messed up. I don't even know who that version of me was. I swear to God, I never meant to hurt you. Save it, he cut in, shaking his head. I sent a sample of your little chats to Hunter's wife. Just enough. She deserves to know what kind of man she's married to. That's on them now. My stomach dropped. Oh my God. Don't worry, I'm not blowing up his life, just giving her a heads up. No more messages, no more maybe just checking in. That dude is done. Am I crystal clear? Yes. Yes, Mark, I swear. He stood, walked a few steps toward the hallway, then turned back. We're talking to Tiffany on Saturday. Together. We tell her the truth. Well, some of it. Just enough so she knows Mom and Dad need space. But she's loved. Always. I nodded, wiping tears again. And don't get it twisted, he added. This ain't me forgiving you. This is me managing damage for our kid, for now. My head was spinning. Legal separation, the look on Mark's face, the tears I didn't think I'd ever see. I kept thinking about Tiffany, how she'd take all this. And yeah, even Hunter's wife and kids crossed my mind. I'd never met them, but I helped break something in their lives too. I finished my wine and stood up. I wanted to ask if Mark wanted dinner, maybe cook for him, but before I could say anything, the room tilted. My vision blurred. Steph, are you okay? Mark asked, his voice sharp. Next thing I knew, I was on the couch. He was hovering over me. My eyes fluttered. I could hear him now. Yeah, I'm okay, I mumbled. He left for a second and came back. I tried to sit up. Don't. Just lie back, he said gently. He helped lower my head onto a pillow, tucked another under my feet, and placed a cold cloth on my forehead. You passed out, he said. I carried you here. Just rest. I think it was the wine, I whispered. No food, no sleep. You scared the hell out of me, he muttered. Hang on. He returned with a glass of juice. Here, sip this. I'll cook something once you feel better. I nodded, drank it slow, and gave him back the glass. Then I started crying again. After everything I did, you're still here, still helping me, I said, my voice shaking. I don't deserve that. Enough, he said. It's been a long day. Just rest. Later, I felt better and went to the kitchen. Mark gave me soup and a grilled cheese. I gave a small smile. He gave one back. We ate without talking. After dinner, I cleaned up while he went to watch TV. Then I showered, letting the water hit my face while I tried to make sense of it all. I needed help. We both did. I needed to know how I got here, how I hurt him like this. I dried off, pulled on pajamas, and headed downstairs. He was watching something, and I sat on the far end of the couch. We didn't speak, just sat. Then finally, "You feel better?" he asked. I nodded. "Yeah, I do. Mark, I'm not asking for anything, but if you could just sleep in our bed tonight, not for anything physical, I don't want to be alone. Not tonight." He didn't say a word. When it got late, he stood up and looked at me. "I'll sleep in the next room, door open. If you need me, I'll hear you." He walked upstairs. I followed, whispering, "Thank you." That night, I finally slept. Maybe from being wiped out, maybe just knowing he was close. The smell of bacon and coffee woke me. We ate in silence at the table, but it wasn't tense. Just quiet. "I'll do dishes," I said. "Start laundry after." "I'll fix the hole in the office wall," he said, "before we get Tiffany." I gathered laundry. His shirt from last night was on top. I picked it up, held it to my face, and breathed him in. It calmed me. Around 11, I said, "I'll call my mom, let her know we're picking up Tiffany." Mark nodded. "I'll call my mom too, like always." I wondered, would he tell her everything? We went to pick up Tiffany. My mom opened the door with a long look. I gave a fake smile. On the way back, Mark said, "We should talk to her. In the car, no more hiding." We had planned what to say. Mark did most of the talking. I held back tears, just nodded, dabbed my eyes now and then. He didn't say the word divorce. Tiffany didn't say much either. Once we pulled in, she jumped out of the car and ran inside. I followed, stopped at her door, knocked. "Tiff, can I come in?" No answer. I opened the door. She was face down on the bed, crying. I sat beside her and pulled her into my arms. I cried too. "What happened, Mom? Why's Dad so mad?" "I messed up, baby, big time. But I'm trying to fix it. Daddy loves you no matter what. I'll give you space, okay? Come out when you're ready." Close to dinner, I turned to Mark. "I'll go to the store. Maybe ask Tiff if she wants anything." He nodded. "Yeah, and maybe check what I'd want too." I sighed. She's still upset with me. I'll ask, he said. He went to her door and called, Tiff, Mom's going to the store. You want anything? Yes, Daddy, but I want us all to go. She stepped out. Her face looked better. Oh, all right, I said, surprised. So the three of us went. In the store, she bounced between us, chatting, asking about food, dinner, random stuff. Mark stayed kind with her, but cold with me. Polite, but flat. It hurt. And it showed, on her face too. That night, Mark went back to the basement. Next morning, he was gone again before we woke up. Just like before. On days like that, when I had to go into the office, I usually liked getting there early, before the team showed up. But when I pulled into the lot, Mark's car was already there. He was inside, waiting. I stepped out of mine. So did he. You think I forgot? He said, cold. I'm here to check your computer. His voice hit like ice. I started shaking. Not because I had something to hide, but because of the way he looked at me. We walked in together. I sat down at my desk. He stood behind me as I typed my password, saying it out loud. There you go, Mark. I haven't erased anything. My history's all there. I glanced up. He wasn't looking at the screen. He was staring at me. His face was off. Embarrassed? Ashamed? I couldn't tell, but I wouldn't blame him. Then he just turned and walked out. I sat there and cried, quiet, until Katie came in. She saw my face and froze. Steph? What happened? I'm not one to bring drama to work, but Katie's solid, a real friend. Mark and I are going through it, I said, wiping my eyes. It's bad. She didn't pry, just stayed. We had tea in the cafeteria and got through the day together. At lunch, I called my mom. She didn't push either, but I could hear the worry. I told her the same things I told Katie. She got it. Everyone did. Mark had a right to be upset. That night, I sat down at my laptop and searched for a marriage therapist. Found someone? Made an appointment for Thursday. Later, when Mark and I were alone, I told him. I booked a session, Thursday. Her name's Margaret. Mark looked at me. No smile, no words, just a nod. But that was enough. Thursday came. I walked into Margaret's office. She reminded me a bit of Mark's mom. Calm, kind. She offered tea. We sat at a round table. She asked how we met, how we were back then, how we raised Tiffany, how we dealt with stress. Then we got to the hard stuff. I told her everything. The flirting with Hunter, the chats, the collapse of my marriage, the separation papers. I didn't hold back. By the time I left, I felt drained, empty. At home, Mark and Tiffany were downstairs watching TV. I poked my head in. I'm going to bed early, I said. Mark looked up. Did you eat? No, not hungry. I showered, put on a robe, and lay in bed with a book, just to keep my mind busy. A few minutes later, Tiffany walked in with a tray, stew, and a roll. Dad said you should eat. We warmed this up. My throat tightened. I broke down crying. She sat beside me while I ate. How was the meeting? She asked. I wasn't sure if she knew it was therapy. Maybe she just meant the appointment. It went well, I said with a soft smile. Really well. She kissed my cheek and left to do homework. I took my dishes to the kitchen. The TV was still on downstairs. I grabbed my phone and typed, "Thanks for the stew, I love you," plugged it in, went to bed. The rest of the week stayed quiet. Wednesday, I worked from home and made roast beef for dinner. Tiffany and I talked like always. Mark barely said a word. During dinner, Tiffany asked, "Can I have a friend over this weekend?" I looked at Mark. The basement was where her friends always hung out. "Of course," he said right away. "Whatever makes you happy." I wondered if she was trying to get him out of the basement, back into our room. Maybe it'd work. Thursday night, another session with Margaret. We talked more about Hunter, how the flirting started, how harmless it seemed at first. Then she asked about my past, about my dad, old boyfriends, my life before Mark. I told her Mark reminded me of my dad, treated me like I was special. I'd only had one serious ex before Mark, a guy who lied and cheated. Margaret leaned in. "Tell me about him." "He always said the right thing," I said. "He made me feel seen, complimented me a lot, but he never opened up. Always told me other guys just wanted sex. Meanwhile, he was cheating on me." "You caught him?" "Yeah, and ended it right away." Margaret paused. "Does Hunter remind you of him?" I blinked, then nodded. "Yeah, Yeah, he does. Then she switched gears. What was it like growing up with your dad treating you like a princess? I hesitated. It was a lot. I felt like I had to be perfect, all the time. And with Mark? I swallowed. Same thing. I kept thinking, what if one day he looks at me and doesn't like what he sees? I wiped my eyes. And now here I am, I said quietly. Mark saw it, and he didn't like it. My dad would feel the same. I started crying. Margaret handed me a napkin, stood up, made tea for both of us, and left the room for a few minutes. I sat there staring at the floor, trying to hold it together. When she came back, I looked up. Margaret, I think I lost him, I said. Mark won't touch me. We barely speak. I'm scared. He's everything to me. She sat down, calm as always. We're working on it, Stephanie. Try asking him again to come in with you. And if things move toward court, they may ask him to come anyway. Then she gave me a soft look. That's enough for today. Let's meet again next week. The next night, Tiffany and I were having leftover lasagna. She was quiet. Too quiet. Then out of nowhere, she burst into tears. Dad, 2 wrongs don't make a right, she said. Mark looked surprised. Of course not, sweetheart. Why? I don't know what Mom did, but you freezing her out is hurting her. She cries when we talk. I don't want her this sad. Just then I walked in. Hey, I said, I'm home. Tiffany wiped her face. We're having lasagna. Want some? I'm not hungry, I said. Mark said, yeah, of course, which caught me off guard. I sat down slow, careful not to stir things up. Mark looked over. How was therapy? It was good. Thanks for asking. Tiffany talked about her weekend plans, about the friend she invited over. After dinner, she and I did the dishes by hand. Mark slipped away somewhere. A little later, Tiffany made a call, probably to her friend, and disappeared into her room. I found Mark downstairs on the couch. I sat on the far end, not too close. He glanced over. Want to watch something? Sure, I said. Whatever you want. He flipped channels. A few minutes later, Tiffany plopped down between us. Can we all watch a movie? It was a sweet one. I actually enjoyed it. After it ended, she and I went upstairs. We all said goodnight. Mark and I made brief eye contact, no words. I took a bath, changed into a robe, and climbed into bed with a book. About an hour later, I slipped out, still in my robe, nothing underneath. I checked on Tiffany. She was out cold. Downstairs, Mark was asleep on the couch, just in boxers. The TV cast a blue light across the room. I dropped the robe. My heart raced. I knelt beside him, hand resting on his stomach, then slid it lower. He jolted awake, grabbed my wrist. No, he said sharply. He sat up fast, eyes locked on mine. Humiliated, I backed off, threw on my robe, and ran upstairs. I locked the bathroom door and slid down to the floor, sobbing. Steph, please open the door. Go away, I whispered. I waited. It got quiet. I opened the door slowly. He was sitting on the edge of the bed. I walked toward him, hiding my face. I'm so ashamed, I said, crying again. You think I'm disgusting. You don't even want me. He touched my shoulder and gently pulled my hands from my face. I'm not ready yet, he said softly. I need time. I don't want to mess with your head or do something I'll regret. He paused. I'm going to my mom's this weekend. Need a break. I'll clear the basement so Tiffany can have her sleepover. I covered my eyes again and sobbed. Don't cry, he said. I'll go to therapy with you. Call the lady. Set it up. Thank you, I said. Can I just get a hug? We both stood. He hugged me, quick but real, then stepped back. We'll talk more soon, he said, then left the room. I got in bed and eventually passed out. Next morning, I was making breakfast when I heard him moving around in the bedroom. The doorbell rang. Tiffany ran out. I'll get it, I heard laughing. She came into the kitchen with her friend, McGann. Hey, sweetie, I said. Want some breakfast? She nodded. They dropped their bags in the basement and came back. Mark walked in not long after. He gave me a stiff smile and sat down. If not for the girls' nonstop chatter, the silence between us would have been brutal. After breakfast, the girls ran off to play. Mark stayed back and helped me wash dishes. I'll be back Sunday night, he said. If anything comes up, call my mom. He went downstairs to say bye to the girls. I waited by the door. When he came back up with his suitcase, he paused and looked at me. "All right," he said. "See you Sunday." Then he left. Later, I ordered pizza for the girls and we watched a chick flick. For a little while, I forgot everything. The next day, we went shopping, grabbed cookie supplies, and spent the evening playing games. That night, I texted Margaret. "Mark's coming to the next session." She didn't reply right away. But it was all I could think about. Because if therapy didn't work, I was going to lose him for good. And Tiffany? She was already caught in the middle. All because of me. How could I have been so selfish? I kept wondering, did Mark tell his mom everything? Did he tell her how badly I messed this up? Sunday morning, Margaret finally texted back. She was looking forward to seeing both of us on Monday. My stomach tightened. I picked up the phone and called Mark's mom. "Hi, Catherine, it's Stephanie. Is Mark around?" "Hi, sweetie," she said warmly. "Good to hear your voice. Hold on, I'll get him." She didn't know. He hadn't told her a thing. Mark got on the phone. "Hey," he said. "Sorry to bug you," I said. "Just wondering, will you be home for dinner and... we still good for therapy tomorrow?" He paused. "Yeah, I'll be there. We'll talk then." "Okay, see you later." Later that day, Megan's dad picked her up and it was just me and Tiffany. "You have fun?" I asked. She smiled. "Yeah." Then she looked at me and said, "Do you miss Dad?" "Of course," I said. "I miss him all the time. I love him so much." She hugged me tight. "Want to go for a walk?" I said. "Then you can help me cook something nice for him." We walked, talked a little, and came home to cook. We made roast with potatoes and carrots. Just as we pulled it from the oven, Mark walked in. Tiffany ran to him. "We cooked dinner together." He smiled, opened his bag, and handed her a small book and a card. "Look, Mom," she said. "Grandma gave me a gift card, and she gave you this." I took the book and flipped it open. There was a note inside. "Here's something I read and liked. Maybe you will too. Love you. Come visit with Mark next time." I blinked back tears. "Mark, can I talk to you for a sec?" He nodded. "Thanks for not telling your mom." He looked at me and said, "Calm. This is just between us. For now." Then he gave the tiniest smile. "Now let's eat. I'm starving."
I wasn't sure what to expect from Stephanie's therapist. Thought it'd be stiff, awkward, but Margaret, she just smiled, said to call her by her first name and made it easy. Straight talker. Said we'd chat for about 45 minutes, then she'd see Stephanie alone. She asked for my side of things. I laid it all out. "That lines up exactly with what Stephanie said," she nodded. Then the obvious question. "How are you feeling?" "Angry," I said. She tilted her head. "Anger's easier, covers up pain, shame, fear of what's next." We talked about regret versus actually making things right. I told her, yeah, I felt it all. And yeah, I think Stephanie's sorry too. I told her how I saw Steph, my wife, my best friend, a great mom. She was everything to me. Margaret paused. "I know it looked like she had it all together, but she's more fragile than you think. She loves being adored. You love being respected. You two keep circling that." The time flew by. "That's all for now," she said. "Can I speak to Stephanie?" Out in the waiting room, Steph was perched on the edge of her seat. "I'll see you at home," I said. "Gonna start dinner with Tiffany." We'd come in separate cars. "Okay, Mark, see ya." At home, I walked in and smelled food. Laughter floated from the kitchen. Steph and Tiffany were giggling about something. I stopped in the hallway, shoes in hand, just listening. The session had wrecked me, but that sound, it felt normal, like before. Then I glanced into the office. Her laptop was back on the table. I didn't say a word, just joined them for dinner. It was nice. Quiet. I thought we might talk after Tiff went to bed, but I didn't have the energy. After dishes, I slipped down to the basement and stayed there. Steph left the laptop where it was and went to bed early. I stayed up staring at nothing. Next morning, I was pouring coffee when Steph came down and nearly jumped out of her skin. "Mark, you scared the crap out of me." "What are you still doing here?" "I'm heading out. Just wanted to say something first." I brushed past her, topped off my mug. "You shouldn't have brought the laptop back in here." She opened her mouth. I held up my hand. "Let me finish. I looked like a damn fool at your job, asking to see it. I feel stupid every time you act like life's just fine. But nothing's worse than what I felt that day. Walking in, seeing you and that guy on the screen. We gotta talk. For real, not dodge it. I'll see you at therapy." Tiffany ran down the stairs. Dad, you're still here? Just leaving, sweetie. Have a great day. You too? The rest of the week dragged. Nothing big happened. Then Thursday came. Therapy day. We waited in the lobby, one empty chair between us. I told myself, at least it's not across the room. Margaret walked out. Mark first, if that's okay. Then both of you. Steph gave a weak smile. I followed her in. She offered coffee. I took it. How's your week been? She asked. I told her I visited my mom, told her what Tiff said. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Told her about moving the laptop and how Steph tried to start something that night, but I shut it down. She looked right at me. Do you want your wife? Do you love her? Of course, but I'm trying to do what's right for all of us. She leaned in. You know, no matter what happens, married or not, you and Stephanie have to talk. There'll be fights, tension. Tiffany won't always be there to soften it. Maybe you're scared your anger will hurt her. Maybe you love her so much you're trying not to. She let that hang in the air. Let's go back a bit. First date. What hooked you? I smiled. Steph was warm, funny, smart. She just got me. She nodded. What's something sweet she does? Something she doesn't even realize? She wiggles her nose when she's stressed like a little kid. It's cute. And who is Stephanie to you? She's my wife, my best friend, the person who takes care of me, like a mom would sometimes. Margaret gave me a look. Friendship's got to come first. She was craving your attention way before this mess. She smiled gently. Can you send Stephanie in? I walked back to the waiting room. She's ready for you. Steph looked nervous, more than on our wedding day. Inside, Margaret welcomed her. I want to follow up on something from last week, she said. We sat. I didn't look at Steph, just kept my eyes on Margaret. She started talking about flirting. Guys usually chase the visual. That's how they flirt. Broad, like casting a line and hoping someone bites. Women, they flirt to feel seen, to feel wanted. It's about self-worth. Everyone flirts, just not always for the same reason.
Mark stood and poured himself coffee. Margaret waited until he sat again. I knew that look. He was deep in thought, trying to sort it all out. I twisted my hands in my lap and glanced at him, then looked at Margaret. Margaret, I said, voice shaky. Does any of this even make sense? I mean, we know what happened, but... Mark cut in firm. I'm not defending her. What she did broke trust. Big time. Margaret nodded. It's about more than just that, she said. There are people I see now and then. What I call marriage poachers. They go after married folks. They like the chase. And they're good at it. She turned to Mark. You tell your wife she's pretty. He tells her, that dress brings out your eyes. He notices details, remembers them, he learns her. She kept going. You do compliment her, that matters. But someone like Hunter? He studied her, every outfit, every change in makeup, not to be kind, but to control. He wanted her to slowly resent you. He didn't insult you, just planted the seed. Mark looked shocked. So you think he went after her on purpose? Margaret nodded. Stephanie, tell him about the small moments, the signs of how it started. I wiped a tear and cleared my throat. For the first time, Mark looked straight at me. Okay. One morning you forgot to take out the trash. I did it. No big deal, just threw off my morning. At work, I was still flustered. Hunter asked what was wrong. I told him, and he said, that was irresponsible of your husband. I paused. Right then. I got mad at you, but now, I see I should have been mad at him. Margaret jumped in. Exactly. She wasn't truly mad at you, just annoyed. But Hunter fed it. Subtly turned it on you. Mark nodded slowly, jaw tight. Margaret looked back at me. Tell him about the lunch, the thing he said that stood out. I nodded. It was a group lunch, me, Katie, and Hunter. I mentioned you were taking me to our favorite burger place. Hunter said, if I were taking you out, I'd take you to that new jazz bar. Candlelight, live music. I looked at Mark. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now, I get it. He was trying to make what we had seem small. He wanted to look like the better option. Margaret added, Hunters don't flatter for kindness. They do it to shift the ground beneath someone. Quiet, slow. He made her feel seen, made her forget what was real. Mark's face changed. The anger faded. He just looked sad. Margaret leaned in. Stephanie made a real mistake, but she's owning it. And in long marriages, praise gets vague. You look great. But the stuff that sticks, it's the little things. That's my favorite dress on you. Your laugh is my favorite sound. That stuff matters. I looked at Mark. My dad used to say that about my nose, that I scrunch it when I focus. You told Margaret that, didn't you? Margaret smiled, then stood. That's enough for today. Homework. Talk to each other. About anything. Mark and I walked to our cars in silence. Finally, I asked, Can you call Tiffany? Tell her not to eat. I'll handle dinner tonight. Mark gave a small smile. You call her. I'll cook. Meet you at home. When I got home, Tiffany lit up. Did you guys have a good day? Mark hugged her, kissed her head. We did, kiddo. Now let's eat. After dinner, Mark said, Want to go for a walk? Tiffany groaned, then perked up when he added, We'll get ice cream. She ran off to change. I smiled. Good call, I'll put on jeans. Mark looked at me. That the dress from the Christmas party? Yeah. You look amazing, it's one of my favorites. I blushed. Thanks. Should I stay in it? He smirked. Jeans are comfier, but if they're the ones I'm thinking of, I like how your A jiggles in them. I froze, then cracked a huge grin. Seriously? But he was already walking away. As we walked, Tiffany chatted nonstop. When the sidewalk narrowed, I took her hand, swayed my hips a little more. At the shop, we sat together like a real family. It felt new, like a first date. Tiffany licked her cone. I said, We should call Grandma later, thank her for the gifts. I looked at Mark. Maybe we should turn the old office into a guest room, for when your mom visits. He paused, then nodded. That's thoughtful. Then he added, Actually, I was thinking, maybe call your parents. See if Tiffany can stay with them tomorrow, so we can talk. I nodded. Yeah, that's a good idea. Tiffany looked at us and grinned. You two should totally talk. Then she licked her cone again, like she didn't just read us like a book. Back home, Tiffany called her grandma to say thanks for the gifts. I did too. I didn't mention the guest room. We agreed Mark should bring that up himself if he ever wanted to. He went down to the basement. I headed to our room and called my parents. Dad picked up, which surprised me. Hey, Dad, I said quietly. I know you always treated me like a princess, like I could do no wrong. But I'm not perfect. I never was. I've always been scared of letting you down. I know, sweetheart, he said. No one's perfect. But to me, you are. You'll always be my little girl. I love you. I love you too, Dad. He passed the phone to Mom. We talked about her picking up Tiffany from school the next day. She said yes right away. Later, I found Mark upstairs. I'm gonna shower, I said. You can join me if you want. I showered alone. Still, I felt hopeful. I dried off, slipped into underwear, and waited for him. He never came. The next day at work, Katie and I had our first real talk in months. Turns out we had more in common than I thought. Same books, same sense of humor. She told me about her wedding plans. I asked if she wanted to come over sometime for coffee. She smiled and said yes. Maybe next week. For a second I felt light, like things might be okay. That didn't last. Later, Mark messaged me. He'd be late. He had to stop by the lawyer's office. My chest sank. I tried not to panic, but it was hard. By 1 p.m., I told Katie I was heading home early. I picked up a good bottle of red wine on the way. When I got home, I cooked like it was a special night. Roast, garlic potatoes, vegetables. I didn't eat. I felt sick from stress. While the food cooked, I changed into a tight black dress, stockings, heels. I even wore the necklace Mark gave me when we first started dating. If this was it, I was going to fight for him. When he walked in, I was shaking. Hey, he said softly. Sorry I'm late. We stood there, awkward. I wanted to hug him, kiss him, but I held back. I'm glad you're home, I said. I got some wine. Want to pour us a glass while I check the food? Sure, he said. Steph, you look amazing. That necklace, didn't I give you that? You did, I smiled. Thanks for remembering. We sat down to eat. I told him the wine was good. He agreed, said the food was great. The air between us was thick. Then he smiled a little. What? I asked. Your nose twitches when you're nervous, he said. Still cute. I laughed and touched my nose. I didn't even notice. Steph, he said gently, leave the dishes. Refill our glasses. Come sit with me. I followed him into the living room. We sat on the couch facing each other. I know I've been cold, he said, but you hurt me. A lot. I couldn't stop thinking about this house. What it means to feel home, good or bad. I know I broke us, I said, and I hate myself for it. But maybe we can still build something new. I still love you. I always will. He took a deep breath. Home is you and Tiffany. That's what matters. There's still so much I love about you. Too much to throw away. He looked right at me. I went to the lawyer today, he said. Signed the form to cancel the separation. I stared. Wait, what? He leaned forward. Come here. I stood slowly. My legs felt weak. I stepped between his knees, heart pounding. Mark, did you just say you called it off? I whispered. We're not done, he said. We still have work. We still need Margaret. But yeah, we'll get through this. Together.